First up in Bachelor Nation news, Bachelor Season 25 ring winner and skydiving one-on-one date survivor Rachael Kirkconnell made an appearance on the Bachelor podcast of record Call Her Daddy this week to discuss her recent breakup with Matt James and shed some light on the details leading up to the now infamous Christian dumping post.
Kirkconnell explained that James initiated the breakup after escalating a seemingly mundane argument about deciding on where the duo should have dinner while traveling in Japan. He then chose to execute the killing blow, Jesus, just hours before Kirkconnell was scheduled to fly back to the United States on a 12-hour flight that James knew would render Kirkconnell without the use of her phone.
Kirkconnell told
diabolical.
Alex, yeah, it's wild.
We don't know these people, but that sounds diabolical.
And for those listening, I watched that entire interview. That is on our YouTube channel. You can watch along with me if you so choose. And I kind of break down.
I also watched Clues watching the interview.
It was, I couldn't believe what I was seeing, honestly.
It was wild. And I also so badly wanted to talk to you about what they missed.
What'd they miss?
In the interview. They didn't talk about Chris Harrison.
Oh, yeah. They talked about, only that there was some controversy that season. Yeah, they didn't talk about any of that. Any of the, I think probably Alex Cooper didn't want to.
Alex, were you silent or silenced?
I think silent.
By DLH.
Silent. Kirkconnell told Alex Cooper, quote, he said that at the end of the day, there were just qualities about me that he worries about having in a wife. At the end of the day, there are things that we aren't compatible with, and the whole accountability and saying sorry and all that was really the main thing. It was just one of those things where he, I think, just had this realization that I should want to propose to you by this time, like at this point in our relationship. I should be wanting those things and I should be ready for that, but I'm not still. I still don't feel like we're ready, or I don't feel like I'm ready. I don't know if I ever see myself proposing to you. I can't actually see myself married to you.
Speculation is still swirling online about the reason for James's abrupt about face on Kirkconnell. One of the key motivators for the nation's suspicion about his reasoning is James's decision to use a picture of his first meeting with Kirkconnell from night one of his season as the image to accompany his breakup post. Both Kirkconnell and James have distanced themselves from the franchise in the 4+ years of their relationship. Could his choice to use that image signal that in his mind, their relationship was never more than a fiction woven by reality TV? Oh, wowee.
That's right.
We don't know anything.
As of yet, Matt James has no known podcast appearances scheduled to tell his side of the story in one of the most devastating breakups in the history of Bachelor Nation.
Is he going to do Files? What is he going to do? Is he going to do Call Her Daddy?
I have no idea. I don't know. My feeling coming out of that, having watched the whole thing and kind of try to break it down the best I could. Again, we don't know either of these people. Please don't send them death threats.
Don't send them anything.
Send Rachael Kirkconnell.
If it must be love.
Nice messages if you want to send anything. But it felt like to me, especially because he kind of escalated this weird argument they were having about like the place they were going to eat dinner at. He escalated into breaking up with her merely hours before she was going to get on a plane to go back to America. It felt to me, and I could be totally wrong, this is just what I was getting out of it. It felt to me like he was looking for a reason or a way to break up with her for some amount of time and was just like, screw it, this is it. Let me blow this up because she picked a place for dinner that like wasn't as good as it should have been or something. Like that's not.
I'll get a 12-hour head start on my post.
Exactly.
That I have in my drafts.
Yeah. I mean, that's clearly like not a reason to break up with anybody. It just seemed weird to me that was the thing that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
If you are making food content, you need your food content girlfriend to be on it. You need her to be picking the best restos, and if she's not getting those restos, she's got to go.
Wow, Matt James apologist.
We've all had our relationships we should have not been in, and who do those things and make you feel those feelings. But imprisonment around making the food content and being like, you have to make all the restaurant things. I was like, that really stuck with me. I was just like,
yeah,
that you shouldn't have to do that as a partner.
And
it's like a weird meshing of like business and partnership, I guess.
Totally. In my head, I was like, is she getting paid for any of his content? If she's
That's what
producing
I mean. Like,
it,
I looked and he's posting them. They're not like joint reels.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hope she gets some of that money.
I don't know. I mean, I think we're just at the very beginning of all the details starting to come out about the intricacies of their relationship and who was doing what. I don't think this is the end of it at all.
We have no idea.
But big news,
There's
obviously.
Three sides to every story. His side, her side, and the astral plane.
Nice.
Truth.
Speaking of three sides to every story, let's move on to our next story. The greatest hardcore Christian player of all time, Madison Pruitt, has given birth to her first spawn. The dead-legged Hoojuer announced the arrival of her daughter on Instagram with a caption that read, Hosanna Rose Trout, pink heart emoji, 1/20/25.
I like that pink heart emoji is written out here.
I wrote it
Pruitt's comments were filled with a whoosy. Who's who?
It's just a who's. Sorry.
A who's who of Bachelor Nation superstars offering their congratulations and well wishes, including the Dollman, Adam Gottschalk, NFL wife Sydney Hightower Warner, Face God McKenna Dorn, Gore Girl Tammy Lee, Creamy Caesar, Virtuoso, the Ashley Iaconetti, Special Forces World's Toughest Test First Round Elimination Ali Fedotowsky Mano, Hooju Perfectionist Kelsey Weir. I want this printed out, this poem.
Sure.
Hooju Perfectionist Kelsey Weir, Pizza Mom. I like when there's jokes just for me and for people. Pizza Mom Amanda Stanton, 101 date vomiter Vanessa Grimaldi, and Mrs. Dylan Barber herself, Hannah Godwin. Wowee.
Pruitt went further.
That's a whoosy who, if I ever saw one.
Pruitt went further than just her main grid post. To post a story that read, she's 1 week old today. I'm truly just so in love and thankful. Thank you for those who have prayed for her and for us. I'm embracing and loving this newborn bubble we have been in and I will be in. I'm going to share the full birth story on @StayTrue podcast later, but for now, I'm getting all the cuddles. And that's over a picture of this newborn baby all swaddled up next to a picture of her and Grant Trout's hands with wedding rings on them, kind of pressing down on the pillow next to the baby.
I think that's a prayer pose.
I mean, to let you know, also, I feel like this is important information. This child was born on Inauguration Day.
This is what I'm talking about with the simulation coming apart.
Coming apart or coming together?
I don't know. Maybe this is the test.
You can read into that what you will.
It's spiraling.
Yeah. I don't think it's
I read into it a lot. I'm like,
information.
I'm so happy for you because I feel like, I don't know, you manifested it happening on Inauguration Day somehow.
I mean,
it's like a treat.
I know I've joked about
and them.
Certain things like the Antichrist, et cetera, but
but obviously we don't know these people. We don't know that they're the Antichrist. We know nothing.
I have no specific evidence that this is the Antichrist entering our world and ushering in an era of total pain and obliteration for the human race. But, maybe.
I mean, the Antichrist definitely wouldn't be named Hosanna. That's for sure. Yeah. That's biblical. That can't be an Antichrist.
If I understand it correctly, Hosanna is like a kind of biblical praising, like cheer, Hosanna, it's like huzzah kind of, but more Christian in nature. But Hosanna
Huzzah
Rose
would
Trout,
be a funny baby name.
Ho-ro-tro is in the world.
Yeah.
We are amongst Ho-ro-tro.
Ho-ro-tro and A-ro-bro in the same timeline? No.
It's Horo Tro with A-Ro Bro going on a picnic with Joe. Hey there. Who's another O name?
Tomato? No.
What? Okay, let's move on. Up next. We did that one to death. Up next.
You're welcome. Don't cut it. Up next in Bachelor Nation news, we go to another beloved franchise in the dating format arena, Love is Blind. This week, the crown jewel of the NRU released cast photos of the upcoming Love is Blind Season 8, scheduled to premiere February 14th, and it's a special season. The official announcement on Netflix Tadam website reads, "Bundle up and prepare to melt your cold, cold heart because Love is Blind is moving to the north, Minneapolis, for Season 8. This Valentine's Day, the global dating experiment returns, marking the 5-year... I mean, it's an experiment. Tell that to the telepathy tapes.
This is what they wrote on their website. I didn't write this shit.
I know. And I've added in some remarks, I will say.
They didn't say melt your cold, cold heart.
They didn't
write that.
They said melt your cold heart.
Yeah.
Not cold, okay? Like many singles before them, a new group of men and women will date, fall in love, and get engaged, all before ever seeing one another face to face, all while being in young and Kufrin country. They didn't say that. With co-hosts Nick and Vanessa Lachey by their side, this fresh crop of romantics seeking the soul connection of a lifetime will enter the pods to find out whether love is truly blind.
Season 8 will feature 32 singles, the largest dating pool in the show's history, from ages 26 to 43. There are 3 nurses, several former cheerleaders, some world travelers, and some self-described Christmas enthusiasts. Pictures as well as links.
They got Kent?
What's that?
They got Daisy Kent?
Oh, I don't think so. She's engaged to a billionaire.
Probably not. They're engaged?
I think so. Aren't they? Didn't we? I don't know. Maybe not. Pictures as well as links to all 32 players' social media accounts can be found on the official Netflix site Tadam. I'm looking so forward to this, and I'll be covering that whole season in Clues Corner. So if you want to watch it along with me and get my breakdowns of all the plays, et cetera, go to patreon.com/Game of Roses.
I can't wait. Now that I live in Minneapolis 1/4 of the year, this is basically my second hometown. I feel like I'm gonna know stuff. And
what
finally in Bachelor Nation, I don't like streets. What part of the city? What part of the city something might be in.
Cool. Yeah, you'll know what apartment building they put them in.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, definitely. And finally in Bachelor Nation news, Bachelorette Season 21 survivor Jen Tran went international this week for her first visit to Vietnam. During her time as Bachelorette, Tran shared a lot about her Vietnamese heritage, and we even got to see her speak Vietnamese with her mom. This week, Jen took to Instagram to share the exciting news that she is visiting Vietnam for the very first time with her mom to celebrate Lunar New Year.
She posted a video online of her and her mom dancing while wearing matching outfits and hugging each other on their trip with a caption that reads, quote, "Your mom finally brings her Americanized daughter to Vietnam for Lunar New Year." Tran has chronicled the trip with her mom, visiting farmers markets, making food together, and meeting her Vietnamese family members. Congrats to Jen Tran on the trip of a lifetime.
Please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast. Please get a friend to listen to us, and then please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast.